This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Monday, June 19th, 2023. I'm Alex Brown. An Indianapolis-based startup that is developing a patented smart mailbox is making early preparations to go public. Arrive, which recently changed its name from DroneDek, said today it has secured the ticker symbol ARRV for eventual listing on the NASDAQ stock market. While no filings have been made with the Securities and Exchange Commission, CEO Dan O'Toole said he is targeting early 2024 to make the initial filing. He said going public is the next natural step for the company that has designed the smart mailbox to provide a secure, climate-controlled mailbox that can accept deliveries from traditional mail couriers as well as robots and drones. Allen County charity organization Fullinger Foundation has launched a search for a new president and CEO and expects a new hire by the fall. The application process opened on Friday. David Bennett has filled the role on an interim basis since October 2022. Michael Mollering, chair of the foundation's board of directors, will lead the search committee, which will review a consultant's recommendations, conduct interviews, and present a candidate to the board. Governor Eric Holcomb said explicitly he will not make a bid for the U.S. Senate in 2024, quashing rumors that he would seek federal office after his gubernatorial term ends next year. Last week, the governor appeared to say in an op-ed that he will not run for the open U.S. Senate seat or any other office in the next election cycle. The announcement likely makes 3rd District Republican U.S. Representative Jim Banks a lock for the GOP nomination. U.S. Senator Mike Braun is giving up his seat to run for governor in 2024. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
For 25 years, we've had the honor of telling the story of Indiana business. More than 1,300 shows, 8,000 interviews. We've traveled from Valparaiso to Versailles, Fort Wayne to Fort Branch, and everywhere in between. And we are just getting started. Our team is passionate about Indiana business because your story is worth telling. Join us every week as we travel the state to bring you Indiana's story. Inside Indiana Business, 25 years and counting.
Who is responsible when a hospital sends a patient's diagnosis to the wrong person and that person immediately posts the information on Facebook for hundreds to see? It's a real-life situation that led an Indianapolis woman to sue Community Health Network. Here's Kate Sharon.
The case has made it to the Indiana Supreme Court, which will hear arguments on Thursday. The High Court's decision could set new legal standards on liability in medical privacy cases. The woman at the center of the case accuses the hospital of breach of duty, distributing private health information to unauthorized persons, and negligence in training and supervising employees. Zakiya Darden claims that public disclosure of her medical information turned her life upside down. In court filings, she says her fiancé broke off their engagement after finding out about her diagnosis and kicked her out of his house. Her coworkers and supervisors at her warehouse job made comments, causing her to leave her job. She also lost several clients at her hairdressing business. It's unclear what her diagnosis or test results showed. The Indianapolis-based hospital system argued that although its employee inadvertently mailed a letter containing Darden's health information to a third party, the third party's posting of the letter on Facebook was an unforeseeable criminal act that breaks the chain of proximate causation and absolves community of liability. At stake are damages potentially worth millions of dollars and additional scrutiny of how health providers protect patient information. Kate Sharon, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
The organizers of Indy Irish Fest announced Saturday that a funding shortfall has forced them to cancel September's edition of the festival and discontinue the event for the foreseeable future. A post on the Indy Irish Fest's Facebook page implied that the demise of the annual festival, first held in 1995, had roots in the COVID-19 pandemic. When asked to clarify whether the Fest's committee has ruled out any future events, media representative Meg McLean responded, quote, "We are still determining next steps for our organization, and we do not have plans for future fests at this time." The not-for-profit has provided scholarships for the study of Celtic dance, music, art, or history language and supported more than 25 local organizations with more than $250,000 in funds or in-kind donations since its inception. Governor Eric Holcomb says recent investment in Indiana from General Motors speaks to the state's perseverance and history in the automobile industry. GM said it will invest $632 million in its Fort Wayne assembly operations and also detailed plans for a more than $3 billion electric vehicle battery plant at the Indiana Enterprise Center in New Carlisle. The governor talked about GM's commitment to Indiana on this weekend's edition of Inside Indiana Business Television.
Bodes well on multiple fronts when you think about the industry transitions that are occurring in defense and construction materials and mobility. Again, billions of dollars of investment has been occurring in the state of Indiana. So it's almost like the table's tilting toward our state.
Holcomb recently completed his 15th trade mission as governor with a trip to Portugal and France and said he is confident that another transatlantic flight could be possible in the near future. Colts radio analyst Rick Venturi is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.